guys, what's up? It's your girl Grace Torie, and I'm back with a whole new podcast episode. I'm really excited for today's episode because we are just going to be doing some serotonin boosters, which I'll kind of give you an explanation of why and what we'll be doing in a second. But before that, I did want to go ahead and jump into my life update. Nothing too crazy. I'm still sick, still have an ear infection. They put me on some stronger meds, so hopefully that'll work. I think I'm feeling better. It's either that or the coffee I drank. We'll see. This is the first thing that I've actually felt a major difference, so hopefully, fingers crossed, things are better. I also got to see my best friend. She came into town to do some stuff for work, and I got to catch up with her, so that was really great. I'm super excited that I got to see her. Obviously, it's always a good time, and I loved that. Pretty much it for me. Nothing too crazy, like I mentioned, just trying to get better. And kind of jumping into today's episode, I've been focusing a lot on healing, which I've kind of mentioned, and a lot of that is just going through like my previous trauma and kind of purging it and just trying to heal from it and move on from it and just kind of letting go of what no longer serves me and finding a way to do that, because some things are really hard to let go of. So I know that I've mentioned that, and I know that sometimes my episodes are a little bit darker or they're not as positive because I'm working through that. And part of this podcast is like being real so that you guys can work through it with me and we can work through our trauma, or, you know, heal together so that we can become that best version of ourselves. But also it's very therapeutic for me, so that's nice. But with that said, I also want this to be a really positive place, and I feel like there is a need for positivity in my process right now, and it's nice to take a break and look at those things. So that's what I wanted to do today. There are two Reddits that I wanted to look at and just kind of read off for you guys. The first one is the subreddit called Feel Good, and it's just some feel good things. Some of it is not as interesting, and some of it is like actually like feel good stories. So I'm gonna read a couple things from there. And then I found this subreddit called The Small Victories, and I'm really excited about that one because it's just small victories that people have, and you know, they may seem like little things that we do every day that we take for granted, but for them, it's big things. And you know, some of them I can relate to where they had a life circumstance, so it's been really hard for them to do basic things like exercise, and they were able to do that. Or, you know, it's been really hard mentally and they were able to get out of bed today. So I just wanted to read some of those to just kind of put into perspective how grateful we all should be for the things that we are able to do, as well as make us not feel alone for those things that we may be struggling with and that we can relate to. So this is really just meant to boost people's serotonin and make us all feel good about where we're at, as well as find a place for us to relate. So without further ado, let's just jump on in. As I mentioned, I wanted to do the feel good first because I found a couple on there, but then there's a lot on the small victories. So let's do that. The first one that I found is this little post that said little stories, big meaning. So there's 6 short stories. I'm gonna read those to you. They're like super short, like 1 or 2 sentences, and just read all of them off. I thought it was a really good thing to kind of put life into perspective. So the first one says, once all villagers decided to pray for rain. On the day of prayer, all the people gathered, but only one boy came with an umbrella. That is faith. When you throw babies in the air, they laugh because they know you will catch them. That is trust. Every night we go to bed without any assurance of being alive the next morning, but we still set the alarms to wake up. That is hope. We plan big things for tomorrow in spite of zero knowledge of the future. That is confidence. We see the world suffering, but still we get married and have children. That is love. And the last one. On an old man's shirt was written a sentence, I am not 80 years old, I am sweet 16 with 64 years of experience. That is attitude. And then there's this little excerpt at the end that says, have a happy day and live your life like these 6 stories. Remember, good friends are the rare jewels of life, difficult to find and impossible to replace. So I thought that that was a sweet little excerpt that I wanted to include that will just make you feel good and make you think about how you're living, and if you're living with faith, trust, hope, love, attitude, and confidence. And if you're not, or if you feel like you're lacking in those areas, there's some little examples and ways to reframe them. I also found this one that says, a classmate from 25 years ago just sent this to me, and it's a text message. So the text message says, There's a day in 7th grade I remember pretty distinctly. I came into school with the top half of my head bleached blonde. I was nervous as fuck. When I took down my hood in class, a few people made some comments and laughed. You then shut them up by saying, I think it looks pretty cool. I've always remembered and appreciated that as small of a gesture as it was. With that said, I noticed you've been doing a lot of art, writing, and creative expression. I imagine a lot of people don't understand or make rude remarks about some of it. Wanted you to know I legitimately think it is cool and something you should continue to pursue. There's a book called by Aldous Huxley called The Perennial Philosophy. I think you would like. Check it out sometime. Stay well, bruv. Okay, that's so nice. That's so sweet, actually. I really appreciate like a lot. And it looks like it was like a Facebook message, so that's really sweet. Oh, is it 222? Oh, it's 222. Cool. 2:22 p.m. guys. So this one says the world needs more Abduls. That's the title. And then it says I found just the cut lock and no bike, resigned to never seeing my trusty seat again, and asked the station if they had cameras. A guy appeared waving at me, asked me to put the code into my cut lock. He replied, I have your bike, with a smile I will never forget. His name is Abdul Manib and he works for Southeastern Railways. He was on a break and saw a guy bolt cut the lock and challenged him to give it back. He then took it inside and waited 4 hours after his shift finished to personally make sure I got my bike back. The world needs more Abduls. He's a legend of a man and a credit to his employer. And then it had a picture of him with the guy and the bike, but it's a podcast, so there's no way for me to really show that to you. And then this one says, what I saw at work today melted my heart. I currently work as a summer chairlift operator in Colorado. How the summertime chairlift works is that some of the chairs have a place to put bikes on. Every chair after that is for foot travel or people who mountain bike. The people at the top usually unload the bikes for the passengers. I saw some bike today that was modified for a kid with a physical disability. I really wanted to say something to him. I was too afraid to say anything. I'm a very socially awkward person, so I didn't want to come off as weird. But as a person who has a high-functioning autism and developmental delay, I was glad to see someone out there not letting their disability hold them back. I'm sure as shit, that little dude could bike circles around me. That's nice. And then I think, yep, that's the last feel good. So we're gonna switch over to the small victories now. One person just says, I got a puppy. Love that for you. And then this one says, made my own breakfast, and this is a 16-year-old guy. And it says, for context, my mom has been looking for a new place we can live, and it could take a while. Until then, my mom decided that my cat and I should stay at my cousin's place so that we can get away from everything that's happening at home. And my mom taught me how to cook certain things. For the past week, my mom taught me how to make pancakes and bacon, and today I did pretty much the whole process by myself with minimal mistakes. So that's a small victory that's really exciting. And then someone said, I have showered 3 days this week. During COVID and my Great Depression, I was lucky for once a week. I'm proud of this small victory. So I'm really proud of them. It can be really hard to do that, especially if you're going through COVID or if you have a mental and a physical issue going on where like you're going through depression and you also have the sickness. I know it can be really hard. I've been there, so that's really exciting. Cleaned your room. Proud. I need to clean my room really bad. I need to clean everything. So it takes a lot. That's a lot of work. This one says, I've had low motivation all week, eating like crap, not working out, just going home and getting in bed after work. Today I finally made it to a yoga sculpt class after going in my head back and forth about it. I know I'll be happy after and I'll make a healthy dinner. Yes, girl, you're doing better than me. That's really exciting. Making it to a workout is really hard. This one also is about making it to a workout. It says, was so tired and sore from working out. YTD, I don't know what that means. I know that means something pretty obvious, but I can't remember. It says, but managed to wake up at 6:30 a.m. for my exercise today, feeling so proud of myself, and I made a new friend. For an introvert like me, to initiate convo is amazing. And this one says, success at work. I work as a social worker, and finally my client has got a home to stay in. Really happy that my work is meaningful and keeps me going. Thank you so much for the work you do. That is huge, and you're making an impact. Really proud. And then this one says, I've been eating more. I'm happy I'm eating more now, even though it's not always a full meal. I eat small but kind of healthy things throughout the day, and I'm so glad I've come so far. This one says, slowly getting it. I'm going back to school at 40 something and I just started coding a class. I tried to take this class before, but I had such a hard time wrapping my brain around it that I dropped the course. I'm trying again, and even though I'm still struggling, today one of the codes I had to write worked on the first try. That is so hard. I know it's hard, and going back to a class that you dropped is extremely hard. That takes a lot. I have dropped a couple classes because they were extremely hard and not my thing, so going back and doing something that you weren't initially good at takes a lot, so that's really exciting. Took a shower and rode my bike to school. Walked on my own today. I broke my leg about 15 days ago. After receiving surgery on it, my doctor cleared me. Luna has to drink water. I broke my leg about 15 days ago. After receiving surgery on it, my doctor cleared me to put weight on it again a few days ago. Today I was able to get up on a hobble to the bathroom without my crutches. That's so awesome. Independence is so hard, especially if you've broken a leg or a foot or something. You know how hard it is, so that's awesome. I didn't sleep in as much as I would have loved to. Depression, 45 days without drinking. Luna is really loving his water. Depression, 45 days without drinking, making meetings, back to work. Life's not a good time right now. I managed to get out of bed and face the world at a reasonable time. Normally in my days off, I don't get out of bed before 11 a.m. This is huge. I know a lot of people struggle with this. I have struggled with this before as well. So it's nice to relate to someone and know that like someone else also struggles. Not that they struggle, like I wish that everyone in the world could have a good time all the time, but it's nice to know that you're not alone. So proud of them. Someone just said I made a pie. That sounds like a good time. I started gardening again. Love that. Started my novel. It's always easy to say you're starting a novel, get a few thousand words into it, and then be distracted by life. But I just spent 2 years entering short story contests trying to improve my writing. I had a lot of ideas while writing them, but none of them were novel worthy. Then we went on vacation and I have what I think is a great idea. Started writing it. I'm actually looking forward to finishing the whole thing. My goal is the same as someone's username. 1,666 words per day for a month. That's so exciting. I've started a few novels and not finished them, so it's good to set those goals. I meditated. It was a particular style that would take more effort than I wanted to exert, but it made a difference and I'm glad I did it. That's so awesome. Meditating has been really hard for me because I have just had a really hard time focusing with everything going on, and it's been hard for me to like relax enough to meditate. So I know how hard it can be and I'm really proud of you. My family complimented the cake I made. I know seeking validation in your family can be kind of hard, so good for you. Studied a bit since the beginning of the year today. I ate a chickenless chicken patty. I've only ever eaten unhealthy things recently, but I did it. Solved my first English crossword today. I'm not from an English-speaking country, so I haven't really played crosswords much. If I started one, I generally quit after filling up a few words, and gosh, they're big. Recently, I've been into improving my English vocabulary. It occurred to me that crosswords might help on this. Today, I decided to give it a go and started solving USA Today's crosswords. It took me over an hour to complete. Not gonna lie, for some words, I took help from crossword solvers on the internet. Anyway, I'm glad that I finished it. That is a good idea. Maybe I'll start doing that in Spanish because I want to get my Spanish like a little bit more fluent. So that would be something to do. I've made it over a week without checking Facebook. I deleted the app and have been spending more time on Duolingo to better my German and on Kindle to read more. Reddit is now my only active social media. Oh, that's awesome. I could not do it. Finally managed to get my desk clean enough so I have room to sew. Ooh. I got a perfect score on my proxy. I think that's how you pronounce it. Awesome. I ordered HelloFresh and I've cooked all my meals so far this week. Haven't ordered any takeout. That's a huge one. And minus one day where I was in bed 90% of it and only ate like 600 calories, I've been eating my calorie goals and I've lost 10 pounds. This cooking includes non-HelloFresh meals. I just used it since I got free shipping and discount and thought it would force me to actually make food instead of order crap. You are one step ahead of me. That is awesome. I'm so proud of you, and that's a goal that I have, to stop eating out and cook healthier. I bought a house this year. My credit scores have been on the rise and I was approved for more than I actually needed and found a nice spot, fully renovated, with no real repairs to worry about. That's huge. That's super exciting. Oh, someone said I made these and it's a little cake with frogs on it and it says happy birthday. That's so cute. I did a fish braid, sort of. Guess who accomplished a somewhat decent fish braid after 3 to 4 tries? Looks messy, but I've always struggled making braids because as I go down the hair, mine always loosens. Kind of proud of how it turned out on my model. That's awesome. I love trying new like hairstyles, so I know they can be tough. My husband applied for FAFSA and finally believes in his dreams again. I read an entire book today for the first time and I'm not sure how long. I've always loved reading. It was my escape, my happy place, but I've recently been struggling for the last few years to really just sit down and read. Horrible headaches, frequent migraines, dizziness, blurred vision, and a few other things were preventing me from reading for hours and hours at a time. Today my headache isn't too bad, my back pain is no worse than usual, and the blurred vision is very minimal, so I got out one of my comfort books. Hope Was Here by Joan Bauer, 186 pages, and I've just finished it. It's not a long book, the pages also aren't as large or wide as some others, and I've read it probably about a dozen times, but I'm proud of myself. So I think those are all the ones that I'm going to read today. I am still feeling a little on the sick side, so I'm gonna go make some soup or something, but I hope that this boosted your serotonin, made you happy, and that you found some success or happiness in other success or gratitude for the things that you are able to do on a daily basis. I wanted this to be a happy little episode to just boost you as we are halfway through the week, so I really hope that you enjoyed this. I really would appreciate it if you rate, review, subscribe, follow, any of those things. If you want to follow me on TikTok or Instagram or Pinterest, any of that, whether it's on the That Girl podcast account or my personal podcast account, or my personal account, not my podcast account, I would really, really appreciate it. I would love for you to join the community of That Girls that are all striving to become our best version of ourselves. I hope that you guys really enjoyed that. I think I already said that, but you know, this episode was a little different, but I think it was still something we all needed with all the events going on in the world and how crazy things can get sometimes. So yeah, I think that's pretty much it. I love you guys so much. I hope that you enjoyed, and I hope that you have a great Wednesday or whatever day of the week it is, rest of your week, night, morning, whatever it is. I love you guys so much, and I will talk to you on my next podcast episode. Bye guys.